Welcome to Speak Free with MattyG, episode 39. Joining me today is a good mate of mine and the co-owner of this studio that we're in, Nick Hodgskin. We've had you on before, and it's been about a year since you were last on the potty, and that was before we were here at 27 Project. So that was back in the Hawkesbury Radio shitty fucking studio days.
Hey, humble beginnings.
Hey, humble beginnings. But we're here, so we're gonna we obviously had Bomber on for the first episode of this new era of Speak Free. And and if you're wondering why I'm wearing sunnies, it's because I had a fucking big one last night and I've struggled to get some sleep. So
You're doing well, bro. You're doing well.
if you think I look like shit, you're probably right. That's all right. It is what it is. But we're going to talk about, obviously, 27 Project, what you've created here. And, you know, it's been a year now since this studio has you know, opened, not to the public, but as a whole. And, you know, there's been a lot of cool things that have gone on here. We're going to talk about your business, obviously, Pixelpark. And, you know, I think you were just starting that last time you were on. So lots happened in that time since then. And I also want to touch on sort of the sacrifice that you need to make to be successful, especially today's day and age. You know, it's no longer work 9 to 5 and be super successful. No one is, you know, and that's really shifted. And you've got to be a hustler now. You got to have a business. You got to, you know, work really fucking hard. So I want to touch on that, and yeah, and if there's anything else you want to bring up, fucking
let's get into it.
Where do you
want to start?
I think we'll start with talking about this place, 27 Project. It's been a year now. What have been some of your highlights since you've opened here?
Man, I think the coolest thing about this place is that no one really knew what we were building. And to be honest, like we always joke around, we didn't really know what we were building ourselves. We got the warehouse and then it was like, all right, let's chuck a cycler armor in the corner. We wanted a podcast studio, but we didn't know anything about podcast studios. We'd been in a few, but building one, we had no idea. So it was cool. Obviously, between Ty, myself, Bomber, and Chris, we've got some really useful connections. So Mark Boris was like, oh, come out to my studio and see how we do things that we've done wrong. And that was massive for us. So shout out to his team. They, you know, showed us what to do, what not to do, things that have worked really well for them, what microphones to get, don't cheap out, this and that. But man, it's just been like, it's crazy. Like I never anticipated it to the things that have happened here already is just, it blows my mind. So it was kind of quiet, honestly, for the first few months, but it was cool because it gave us time to figure things out. And obviously you were one of our first clients and we're grateful for that. Just having different people come through, and it's been really cool being able to help my friends like yourself level up as creators and whatnot. But it all kind of took off this year. Like we opened kind of publicly in January, but I left to go on tour in March, and then it just blew up as soon as I left. Like I was on tour, and obviously the guys here, they're really good, but they're not content creators as such. Bomber is, but for me to be away and then the studio just to go like 45 degrees on the graph up, it's been crazy. So you know, we've had people from LeVar Ball here, Tanner Fox, a bunch of different NRL players, UFC fighters. We had Sticky Fingers here last week. Like I don't know, man, it kind of blows my mind that how many people are loving this spot. I think we're quite unique as a studio. Like a lot of studios are very kind of, you know, arty and whatnot, which we are as well. But like, you know, we kind of have that Westy vibe to us, which I think people like.
100%. Like when you come in here, it's it's got I would say it's like almost like that Culture King sort of vibe. You know what I mean? Like you go in there, it's a real hip, like it's a real urban sort of feel, and that's what it is in here. And I think when you're from Western Sydney, it does feel like home when you come in here because, you know, you go around, there's the fucking mural of all the Panthers players and that, you know, not that I'm a Penrith fan, but fuck the Tigers, mate.
Sorry, bro.
I'm fucking off them, eh?
You can be like we'll take you on for the rest of the season if you want.
Yeah, nah, up the Wilds, baby. But yeah, man, like it's just when you come in here, it's not like those not that I've been there, but I could just imagine that real sort of lefty sort of fucking artsy sort of vibe, you know? Whereas here it's like, it's cool, man. It's cool. And it's real supportive. That's what I love most about it, you know?
Yeah, and I guess like we wanted a space where anyone feels welcome, and we've had all different types of people come through, which has been really exciting. It's cool to see different types of creatives adapt the space to their own. I've learned so much as a filmmaker and photographer myself since I've been here, just watching other people work. And I think that like that's anything in life. Like if you watch the best of the best do their thing, you're gonna progress, right?
Yeah.
So it's cool. It's cool to see, you know, especially like yourself, like grow as a presenter and a podcaster, and I don't know, man. It's like a real unmatched feeling. Like I didn't expect it to feel this cool.
Yeah. And it's funny now for me looking back, like I just, not that I put shit on myself for what I used to do, right? Like before coming here, but it's just the little things now, like that I just didn't do. It's such a necessity that I needed to do, you know, to grow. And it's like now that I've come here and it's like my understanding of what is needed for a podcast is just like skyrocketed, you know? And what makes me like so excited is like looking back at like Joe Rogan, right? Like that's my idol. Everyone fucking knows that's my idol. He didn't get big until maybe like what 300 episodes in or something. It really took off, you know. It started, you know, and probably wasn't at its height until like maybe like 1200, you know, 1100 episodes in to what it is now. And it's like it's exciting because it's unlike any other sort of creative job other than like photography and that, like behind the camera. But in terms of being in front of the camera, in terms of like when you're a music artist, right? You sort of got to make it in your 20s. Otherwise, ship sailed, cunt. You know? And not that I want to put shit on anyone who's trying to make it in their 30s, 40s. Go for it. But realistically speaking, most people make it in their, you know, mid to late 20s. Same with acting and that. Whereas podcasting, it's like, it actually gets better the older you get because the more life experience you have. And it's like, fuck, I just got to keep going and then, fuck yeah.
Well, it's like anything though, bro. Like, my friends Steve and T that come through here and they have a podcast as well. And they were telling me something the other day, like some ridiculously low percentage. Like I think it was under 5% of podcasts make it past 10 episodes. So the fact that, what'd you say, 39 now?
39.
You're already way ahead of the rest, bro. Like, and I'm big on like, if you keep chipping away and you're passionate about it and like you are authentic with yourself and like you believe in yourself, and then there's no reason it won't work.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know. I always had this thing in the back of my head as a kid doing the YouTube stuff at the skate park and whatnot. Like, this is going to work one day. There is absolutely no plan B for me. Like, this is it. And I'll do anything to make it happen. So I think like you're already like invested in yourself. You invested in this spot. You've and I think looking back on the Hawkesbury radio stuff, like you need to, you know, appreciate those times and go and look back because that's just you growing as a creator now and going like, man, if you're not embarrassed of your old stuff, then you're not doing it right. You know?
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, if you don't notice an improvement, it's like, fuck, man, you should be improving.
Bro,
you know?
and I remember like walking into that spot and being like, yeah, Matty, like you're doing good, but you had like a ring light and a camera. And now you're like sitting here with SM7Bs. And
yeah,
you probably got a bit too, like if you go into another studio now and they don't have these mics and lights, you'd be like, what the fuck is going on?
You know
here?
what's heaps funny is that I watch fucking podcasts like reels on Instagram or whatnot on TikTok. And I'll see them using a fucking Rodecaster mic instead of like a, you know, like a Rode podcast mic instead of the Shaw's. And I'm like, now.
You know, like I'm not trying to throw shade or anything on anyone, but you know what like makes me like gives me the ick, I guess you could say, on
People
TikTok? No, when they got the mic, but then they're using the camera audio.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
why do you have a mic if you're not even going to use the audio?
Yeah.
It's almost like people like, oh, yeah, let's start a pod. Which is like, again, I'm not trying to throw shade. People are giving it a crack, but it's like, I don't know. That just doesn't.
Yeah. I feel the same way about them holding a mic, a podcast mic.
Yeah.
Like if it's a handheld, like mic, fucking whatever, but like holding a podcast mic.
Oh, they do that?
Yeah, I've seen different
it's
podcasts
like,
do that. If they're like sitting on a lounge and shit and they're like more chill.
I guess you got to do what you got to do to make it happen, but I don't know. Like the small little things you can do just to really up production.
Yeah.
Which has been cool about this spot. Like people come here with absolutely no podcast knowledge, and we're now in the position where we can be like, this works, this doesn't work. You know, being able to give actual advice on how to make your podcast that next level up it's been really cool.
Yeah. No, I've loved it. Like, honestly, I used to, what I found last year was it started to feel like a bit of a drag because I was putting out a lot more episodes than what I am now. And I'd have to go there and set everything up and then pack everything down and, you know, then drive back and then and now it's like, this is a space. And because it wasn't really a space, like I made it my space there. So there was always other shit going on, like fucking someone in the other studio on the radio and shit, or someone wanted to sit in there to fucking prepare their radio show. It's like, fuck me, it's Hawkesbury Radio, bruv. Calm down. But now I get to come in here and it's like I can just focus on podcasting, you know, and it's so much more enjoyable for me. And yeah, I've loved every minute of doing it this year here. So we got one more episode to go after this one, obviously. And yeah, I'm excited.
I hope you're back for plenty more, bro.
Yeah, I will be. I think the plan next year is to double the amount of episodes. So yeah.
Well, that's what you got to do. Well, you're saying at the start you want to talk about sacrifice. That's your next sacrifice, bro. Like,
yeah,
leveling up as a creator, you need to put in double the work now.
Yeah, 100%.
Which you could do, bro.
Oh, easily. Yeah, I spend most of the time just pulling my dick. So, There's plenty of time. There's plenty of free time available. I just got to, you know, change the priorities a bit. Now let's talk about. Obviously, you mentioned going on tour. You went on tour with Russell Crowe, with his band. It was indoor garden party.
So Indoor Garden Party is the name of the collective.
Yeah,
and then he has all these kind of acts in the collective.
Right. Okay.
So his band is known as the Gentleman Barbers now, but Indoor Garden Party is like the show.
Yeah,
the experience, I guess you could say.
And it was massive. He played so many shows. I remember looking and like Kyle Sanderlands went to one, hit like the Kiss FM team and that. I saw it on their, you know, socials and then obviously you went overseas as well. But that's hard work, man, isn't it? That was intense work for you.
It was crazy. But like I'm always grateful for those experiences because I feel like I level up. Like anything, it's like anything tough you go through, you're gonna come out better, you know. So the cool thing about that was there was 3 of us doing the doco. So myself and then my friends Scott and Joe, and we had 3 operators, but I'm gonna say 9 or 10 cameras. So we were really grateful that Sony jumped on board and supplied. They've got a new camera called the FR7, which is a remote head camera, which means it's like Sony FX6, but on like a remote head that you can control.
Oh man!
So we were able to have 3 of those set up around every location, and then 3 iPad screens showing the feed of each one. Then you literally just like tap on this screen, move it around, tap on that screen, move it around. And then we had the FX3s, which are the smaller cameras. We had them mounted. Then I was on an Easy Rig, which is that big scorpion looking thing.
Yeah.
With a massive camera set up, and man, I had so much fun. Like the cool thing about his demographic is they're just super fans. Like they are super fans, and just like little things along the tour, like people in the crowd. Like I've shot contests before, and it's not my thing because people just get in your way, and their phone footage is more important than your camera footage.
Yeah,
it's just you're sweaty and flustered, and it's just a shit show.
Yeah,
but at his shows, it's like people are like they understand. Like he's a filmmaker, so his footage is important to him, and like people are getting involved and. It was just like a really, really cool experience. So we started in Queensland, made our way down the east coast of Australia, and then we ended up in Italy, Malta, and the Czech Republic, which was crazy, bro.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to talk about it, but we've talked about it before. You know, what happened in the Czech Republic. A bit of a pinch me moment for you when you're at a party. Do you want to say who was at the party?
I don't think I'm allowed to.
Oh, okay. NDAs. Never mind then. Anyway, it was someone big.
Yeah, it was a bit weird, but it was cool.
And have you had moments like that in your career where it's like you take a second and you go, wow, like fuck, this is.
Oh man, every time, and I think it's important to do that. And like I've been in situations where I've been at tables with people having dinner. And it's like they're all human beings, bro. But I've been at tables, I'm like, get mad imposter syndrome. I'm like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
But I think they're important because I take that moment, I take that step back, almost like a out of body kind of experience. I look at the situation, I'm like, all right, whatever I'm doing is working, just keep going, and then I get back into the reality and keep going. But yeah, that trip was crazy, bro. Like, I'll give you a Russell story. We're in Malta. You'll like this one. And so the shows in Australia, he's getting maybe like 700 to 1,200 people at each show, maybe like pretty big.
Yeah.
But not
It was like nice, small, intimate
and
venues.
and he
Yeah.
prefers that.
Yeah.
Then in Malta, there's like a few thousand people, and Malta's a weird one because a lot of people that speak English, and then a lot of people don't. Whereas like Italy and Czech Republic, like no one speaks English. They can understand it, but especially where we were, because we're kind of doing like, you know, like we did shows in Rome, but then there were also a lot of kind of like rural areas, I guess you could say. But he comes out on stage in Malta, and he just wanted to hype the crowd up. And it's the only time I've ever heard him say this. I swear to God, in the 10 years I've known him, I've never heard him say it. He comes out on stage and he goes, "What's wrong, Malta? Are you not entertained?" Bro, the whole venue just like shook. And it was an outdoor venue, bro. And people, but it was just like his fan base in Europe is crazy because of Gladiator.
Yeah.
Like next level, bro.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, what a movie. What a huge movie that was, you know?
And you know what was cool? They're doing Gladiator 2 now that he's not a part of. But they were building the do you want to just fix that real quick? I'll go from there. Sorry, bro.
Just keep it rolling. This is Speak for MattyG, lad. We don't cut nothing out.
So what was really cool is they're doing Gladiator 2 now, which he's not involved in, but we were in Malta. So the Colosseum for Gladiator was actually built in Malta. And we were at his hotel looking across the harbour, and they were constructing the new Colosseum, and he was like, "This is such a wig out, like, you know, like seeing the Colosseum being built again."
Yeah. So
it's like a full 360 moment for him.
So he's not part of it. Is it going to be like a sequel? Like
I honestly can't speak on it. I have no idea.
Yeah. I hadn't even heard about it. That they're doing a second one.
Yeah. They're filming it. I don't know if they've wrapped filming, but I know they've been filming.
Yeah.
But yeah, I honestly have no idea about it.
Yeah, it'll probably flop. No, it probably won't, man. Sequels these days are fucking killing it. You remember before, like sequels used to be like, oh, it's gonna be shit.
I guess they're running out of ideas though, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to make movies now that is gonna draw people to the cinema. You know, if it's not a superhero movie, what do you do?
Yeah.
Like you have to choose a franchise.
And
right?
then you
Or
look at Barbie,
movie.
look at the success Barbie has had, bro. Like
Yeah.
massive franchise, but then also they were really smart about PR and
The
marketing.
marketing,
Like-
man, best marketing ever.
Like I bought my missus, I buy like Peter Alexandra for her birthday. She loves that shit. I remember like looking in the shop and there was just Barbie everywhere. Then I went the same day. I went and got a bubble tea, Barbie cup. I'm like, fuck, this movie is everywhere.
Yeah. And like when you partner with a toy company,
Yeah.
you know it's gonna make a fucking mozza.
Yeah.
Like
I could only
God.
imagine the revenue of like obviously the movie itself, but then all the things that come from it, Barbie toys.
yeah,
I'm sure there's been a huge spike in sales for them too at Mattel.
And all like they've released a few special edition ones of like the weird Barbie and shit.
Oh, have they?
Yeah, and they've all sold out. They had like 100,000 units gone.
Especially in today's market, like the whole collector and
Yeah,
you know what? Fuck, that's crazy.
it's just mental. Like it's grossed. It's the highest grossing Warner Brothers film of all time now.
Yeah.
Beat Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Like that's fucking mental.
It's insane.
And to be honest, it's not that good a movie.
I didn't like it.
I fucking hated it.
there were a couple of moments I was like,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
I just felt like there was no real I felt like there was nothing that really happened. Like I felt like the storyline was real weird.
Yeah. I
It was
don't
a
know.
real
It's
weird
not
storyline.
my cup of tea, but obviously it's a lot of other people's cups of tea.
Yeah, it's not really a kids movie either.
No,
must
that's what
say.
I thought I was going to watch a kids movie. I only went to keep Ash happy, but but
it's
yeah,
not
it
a
just
kids
wasn't-
movie. Yeah,
wasn't my
it's got a
jam.
lot of different, more adult themes
Yeah.
in it. But anyway, enough about Barbie. They've done well enough. They don't need Speak Free to fucking plug them too.
Another spike in revenue on the way.
Yeah, fucking boom. Let's. I want to talk to you about that sacrifice that you make. Obviously, you've done videography in that for a long, long time now. and you started when you were just a fucking kid, doing what you could do and having a dream, right? And you've made that a reality. Like most people can't say that. So I'm really interested to know what sort of sacrifice has it taken to get where you are, and what are some things you've missed out on or had to compromise for, and because it's not easy getting to the level of success that you've had, you know. And this is the thing, right? Like a lot of people will say like, not about you, but just about people in general. Well, they'll bless with this opportunity and this and that. But it's not about that. It's about when you have an opportunity, going for it and working really fucking hard. And opportunities don't just come. Like you have to work really hard for opportunities to come. Unless you're born into a multi-million-dollar family or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, but other than that, like it's based on your hard work and yeah. So anyway, just I'm really interested to sort of dig into your brain.
Touching on that, I think it's important to remember the harder you work, the luckier you get. Like people might think that, you know, oh yeah, he just films cameras and points his cameras at this and that and hits the button and then that's it. But no, it's like I remember when I first got a camera, I was like, so even before then, I would always use my grandparents' camera, and then I remember it's a bit of a wig out. I remember my grandma, you know, like when you're a kid, you just want to know what you're getting for Christmas, and you're bugging your family, like, what is it? What is it? I remember her. I'm like, just give me a clue, and she's like, it's something that you could turn into a profession if you wanted. And I don't know if her saying that just like triggered it in my head that was what I was gonna do when I opened that present. But we were actually on holidays at Shoalhaven Heads down the coast. I remember just like opening the camera and being like, whoa, this is sick. It was just like one of those little point and shoot ones. And it's off the bat thinking I was Spielberg, bro. Like filming water drops coming off the tap in slow motion and all that shit. And then this was back in the day before MySpace and everything. So I was just like, I would go to school and be like, oh, I learnt kickflips yesterday. And the boys would be like, no, you didn't. So I'd go home and film one, then bring my camera to school and show them. And I don't know, I just become like fascinated with it, right? So from a very young age, I was just like, nothing else matters to me. And I think it's important, like when you're a child, you just like, you know, it's different, bro. Life's different. And you wish like, I think there's a part of everybody where they wish they wish they were still a child, you know, like life was easy. You had your hobbies and that was it. Like whether it was footy or whatever, like every kid that played footy had a dream to be in the NRL. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's just like you get to an age where, so let's say like 14, 15, where you like start to become cool, you know what I mean? And it might not be cool to keep doing your hobbies, which for me it wasn't. I remember people would be like, oh, you're a scooter kid and blah, 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 and give me shit for riding my scooter to school. Oh, that was such a lame thing when 2 years or a year before that, everyone had a scooter at school. Yeah. So I kind of like, I don't know, I was kind of lame, I guess. And then I still remember one day someone in my class saying, like tapping me on the back of the shoulder, and he said, this was after everyone had been giving me shit. He said, bro, I watched one of your videos last night. You actually made scooters look cool. And I'll always remember that for the rest of my life because I'm like, that was like that little bit of reassurance. I was like, oh, sweet, like cool. But it's like, I guess in terms of sacrifices in high school, it was like, I didn't really go to parties. I didn't have a relationship. Like I was the scooter kid for starters. So I was like, I don't know if that was the coolest thing in school. But then it was just like every afternoon, bro, I'd be home and practicing or watching YouTube tutorials, or I'd be at the skate park filming. So it was just like putting in the work, but it didn't feel like work because it was my passion. Yeah. So I think if you can find what you're passionate, and I know you said before, like if you don't do it in your 20s, then you're fucked. But I don't know. There's been people like Ridley Scott, bro. He didn't direct a feature film until he was in his 40s.
More so just for things that you're sort of in front of the camera.
Yeah. I get you. Yeah. But it's like, no, I agree there. But it's like, if you can find something that you're passionate about, like prime example, right? My cousin Josh, he's 2 years younger than me. So he's 20, I think he's just turned 27 in September. Oh no, September now. So he'd be 27 this month. And
it's October now.
Oh yeah, because he comes out. So he is 27 now. So he is a Sparky. He's been a Sparky since he was like 16 or 17, right? And he bought a house last year in Glossodia, and he was never really allowed pets as a kid. So he's just gone like full Dr. Doolittle, bro. Like he's got goats, he's got dogs, he's got a lace monitor, which I didn't even know what that was.
Holy shit.
Bro, he's full, like, got a zoo at his house, bro. I did the speech at his wedding, and I was like, this guy's literally like Dr. Doolittle. He's got the zoo, everything. So he's still a Sparky, but he's now a part of Wise, and he rescues animals, and that's all he cares about, right?
Yeah.
So I said to him, I'm like, he kind of comes through the studio, and he's like, I remember him saying to him, bro, like, I wish I was so passionate about my profession. I'm like, well, what are you passionate about? Animals. So I G'd him up. I'm like, stop filming this stuff, bro. Like, you never know. You could turn it into a thing. And so he's been grinding, bro. Like, I think he's done like 40 videos he's made in like 2 months. And he's been putting out one a week, and he's starting to get a little buzz with it. And people are starting to recognize him for it and this kind of stuff. And it's like, if you have a passion, no matter what it is, you might like going camping, you might like fishing. If you can figure out a way to create content with it or monetize it in some way, you can turn that into a job.
Yeah.
Like it's really not, like, it's hard, but it's not impossible.
Yeah.
And I think people just like, you know, they get comfortable, bro. And they're like, that's too much work.
Yeah.
And then they just complain that
it hasn't worked out.
it hasn't worked out.
And I think the outside noise is such a big factor for a lot of people, right? Like it's, you know.
I get it though. Like we all have mortgages to pay, and we have families to feed and stuff. Like sometimes it works out. Like unfortunately, it works out that way, and you need to do that. But
some people like living that quiet sort of life, and
there's nothing wrong with it either.
There's nothing wrong with that. What I do find sad is people who don't want to live a quiet life, but allow themselves to end up living that way because they're worried about what people are going to say or people are going to think, or they look stupid doing that. Like, fuck, man, I've talked about so much shit on this podcast that, like, ridiculously open, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, shit that my mum probably watches and cringes at the fact that I'm talking about. But I know that for me to be a podcaster and to connect with people, I've got to be fucking real, you know? Like, and that's what I pride myself on. And if people talk shit, fucking,
yeah,
good on you, bruv. You know, like, I actually love it. I love that people. I remember, like you said, you know how you said that the guy at school turned around and said your scooter video was actually, you made scooters look cool. I remember when I first started my podcast, I was having like we were having kick-ons, and it was just me and a mate that we got along in school, and then we didn't see each other for quite a while. He's in a different sort of group, and we're up and we're having a couple of beers and that at mine, and he goes, you know, obviously it comes to that time of night where you start having deep and meaningful conversations.
Love you, bro.
Yeah, and
Love
he's
you too, bro.
and we got on the topic of my podcast, and he's like, you know what? A lot of the boys talk shit like about it, like in his group when I started, and I was like, oh, okay, that's all right. And he's like, but you know what? They all fucking watched it. Yeah. They all watched it. And I was like, you know what? That's true. And if I can make people at least watch, even if they, you know, hate it, as long as they're watching, bro.
All publicity is good publicity, bro.
That's it, you know. Maybe I should do something crazy and go worldwide, go viral. I want to talk about, obviously you've had, it wasn't just, you know, the Russell Crowe tour this year. You've done a lot of other things. Mm-hmm. Obviously leaving a very secure position working for Russell. You made the leap about just over a year ago?
Yeah, about 15 months ago now.
15 months ago. So how have you handled the pressure of having your own business now, being out on your own, you know, and sort of the experience that came with that? You know, it's full independence now for you. Not that you weren't independent before, but it's all on you now, you know. How have you found that?
It's been crazy. I've learned a lot, obviously. But just like little things, like man, where do I start? Uh, just like the other side of running a business. Like, there's obviously the content creation and this stuff, but then chasing people for money, valuing yourself as a creative, all this kind of stuff is like been a big lesson that I've had to learn. Becoming too friendly with clients shoots you in the foot sometimes. Once there's no boundaries between you and the client, it's like never ending.
Yeah.
The 10 p.m. phone calls and the 6 a.m. texts and all that kind of stuff. I think the hardest part about what I do is the content that I create is what people use to make money for their business. So if I'm working on one guy's stuff and then another guy is waiting on something and then he sees that I post this guy's stuff or that company posts their stuff that I've made, then he's like, oh, where's my stuff? Which is fine when you got 2 people, but then when you got 6 people, like, bro, you got to talk to Bomber about it. But there's days where I just like, I'm so overwhelmed at my desk, bro, that I just shut down physically, emotionally, everything. I'm just like, I don't know what, like, I don't know where to start. Something I've become a lot more aware of, and I'm blessed to have a really good assistant, Tuesday now, who, you know, kind of, I've almost like employed her to be my boss. I felt like I needed that. Someone that can be like, you need to do this today. And I'll be like, oh yeah, I was going to do this. No, you're doing this today. Like, she's really good like that.
Yeah.
But man, so many lessons. I've tried to bring other people on to expand the company because I'm at the point now where I'm saying no 10 times more than I'm saying yes.
Really?
And
that's a good thing.
It's a great problem to have. But bro, trying to find a kid, when I say a kid, I'm trying to give a young kid a chance because I didn't necessarily get too many of those when I was younger as a creative. But I don't know what it is, what they feed them now or something, bro, but they just don't have the same drive that me and my friends had 10 years ago. They just want instant gratification, and they come in here with their $5,000 camera and they're like, oh yeah, I need to make 5K a video. And I'm like, bro, I have like hundreds of thousands of dollars of equipment here. That's why I'm charging what I charge. And I've got 15 years of experience. I've got all these receipts, but then they learn 1 or 2 things and they think, you know, like, I know everything. I don't know what it is, but
do you think it's social media that's created this?
I think social media's had a massive part on it.
And I think we hadn't really seen it with social media in terms of that instant, you know, it happened at some point with YouTube early days, that instant sort of fame and sort of...
I think TikTok's the worst for it, bro.
That's what I was going to say. TikTok now, fucking, I've blown up once, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I hate to say it, but it does sort of go to your head straight away. It's like, whoa.
It's like my missus, shout out to Ashley, made this. I don't spend too much time on TikTok. So
me neither. I literally post on there and I get the fuck back off.
Yeah, Bomber sends me a couple funny TikToks a day and I'll watch them. But apparently there's a trend going around right now where you, when your boyfriend or partner gets home, you hand them flowers at the front door and then you shut the door and then you open the door and you're like, oh, you bought me flowers. It's like some stupid trend going around right now.
Oh, God.
So she gets me the other day, I'm on my way home and she's like, oh, come in the front door, which I never do. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? So I get to the front door. If you go on a TikTok, you'll see it. She hands me the flowers and I'm just there like confused on what the hell's going on. And she posted, it gets like 70,000 views in the first night. And I'm like, I'm busting my balls with the boys here making quality content.
Yeah.
And we're like, we get more than that sometimes, but some videos we'll post on TikTok will get 800 views.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then you do this thing and get 70K. Like, I can see why this fake fame goes to people's heads.
And it's so fake
feeling
because
entitled.
It's so fucking hit and miss.
Yeah.
You know, like the dumbest fucking videos I've seen with fucking 100 million views. And I'll see some really high quality content, whether it's a podcast or whatever the fuck it is, with like 400 views. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Like, it's just, yeah.
Like, so I didn't really know about TikTok lives. I don't really understand that stuff. But Bomber's like into that kind of content. He goes live on his TikTok making shoes and that kind of stuff. And he showed me one yesterday at breakfast, and it was this guy like being an NPC, they call it, like, you know, like non-playable character.
Yeah.
He's like doing all these weird shit like this on live, and he's like, someone like, you can give people like hot dogs or some shit, and it like pays them.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, a hot dog. And I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And he showed me, and there's 40,000 people watching him. He goes, bro, he's making like 30K a day. I'm like, at what point, like, are they just dumbing us down to show you like
100%?
Because I heard a rumor. I don't know if this is true, so like, don't quote me on it. But I heard a rumor that in Asian countries, the TikTok feed is educational content, and then in us Western countries, it's people doing this bullshit
because China owns it.
Yeah, but it's just like, are they like dumbing us down? Like
dumbing the Western culture down. I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them. Like it makes sense. But yeah, man, it actually pisses me off because so many people, like, even at work and stuff, like, oh, did you see this? Surely you saw this TikTok. Like, fucking, surely you saw this. Like, I'm like, cunt, I don't fucking scroll for hours on TikTok, cunt. I'm fucking doing shit, you know, like, and then it's like, it's a bit of, hypocritical because I'd love my fucking videos to blow up as well. Yeah. But like,
the thing is, you're putting effort into these videos. I think that's why it sucks.
Yeah.
And then someone, does some weird shit, paints their hair a funny color, and then starts screaming at their phone.
Yeah, or just sings along to a song, and because they're good looking, they get fucking.
Yeah, it must be nice, eh?
Must be. Why do I have to be born like this,
brother? I feel you. That's why I'm behind the camera.
Yeah. But yeah, I do feel like it is dumbing us down. Society as a whole is just like the attention span of people now is fucking nowhere. Like, people can't, especially younger. Like my little cousin, he's 14, and his attention span is just terrible. And I think it's from things like, from TikTok and playing PlayStation and that they've all grown up with this, especially phones. Phones are the worst thing because we didn't grow up with mobile phones. And even in high school, like, I didn't have an iPhone till I think year 9 or something. And back then it was pretty like simple shit, like
Angry Birds.
Yeah.
That's all we had.
Yeah. It wasn't all this fucking rubbish like TikTok. I don't even think I had Snapchat until like year 10 or something. And there's fucking kids in year 5 now with an iPhone posting on Snapchat, and
it's crazy because it's like it's affected everything. Like, even the way I create content now, I have 3 seconds to get people's attention, whereas I used to be able to develop a story and hook people that way. Now it's like, it's almost kind of cringy, some of the things that I have to get people to do now.
Yeah,
like, sorry about this, bro, but it's going to perform better if we do this. And it's just like, I don't know,
and
man.
it is, and it seems almost not like, it seems inauthentic. Is that a word? Inauthentic, unauthentic, not authentic, whatever the fuck. But it does, hey, because you're trying to hit the rules of social media, right? In terms of like trying to put it out there, and that's what your job is, right? Like, you want to get maximum reach for the shit you're putting out, obviously.
But like in like human history, how we always kind of like go way too far with things and then we bring it back. Yeah. I'm really hoping that we're like almost there and we bring it back a little bit and start going, look, you do need some kind of skills in life to actually do something. Like, I really do hope that
bash your,
there's a reverse coming soon, because it's getting crazy, bro. Like, and I'm not just saying that because it's affecting how I create content and stuff, but I don't know, man. I just really do hope that, and it's not everyone. Like, there are some young kids that have come through here and I've been like, you've got the drive. Like, that's cool. But it's a high percentage, bro.
Yeah.
And it's sad to see.
And another thing for me is like, I think people see, sort of TikTok and that as like it can be a career for a lot of people. So some people have done really, really well from it. But I just feel like people are dumbing themselves down because we've made it really easy to make money from doing dumb shit. Or doing like fucked up shit, like OnlyFans, right? Like, how many girls make so much money from OnlyFans? And it's like, is this what we want as a society? Like, for me, it's not empowering. Like, I don't think that's empowering to women. I think we should be looking at women who fucking accomplish things with their mind and fucking work hard. Like, that's, or sporting achievement. Look at what the Tillies just did, up the fucking Tillies. Sorry, I've been waiting to say that. I haven't done a podcast since the fucking World Cup. But like that's the sort of shit we should be celebrating. And then like you jump on social media nowadays and it's like fucking there's articles after articles of like, you know,
Celebrity breakups and all that kind of stuff.
yeah, or like positivity for fucking unhealthy shit, you know, like body positivity for overweight shit. I'm an overweight guy myself and I would never claim to be a healthy fucking individual, right? Yet we have people who do. And I think it's the wrong message to send. And then also things like OnlyFans and that, you know, I'll probably cop some backlash for this. I don't really care. But like, you're actually not doing anything. You're not contributing anything to society. Good on you for making money. Fucking whatever. You know, it's tough out there at the moment. If you can make money doing that, fucking why not? But I just think it's really hurting who we are, the fabric of our society, because it's created this culture of this. What was taboo for probably a good reason before is now like so widely accepted. And it's like, what's going to happen in 20 years when these girls who are 18, 19, 20, 21 now have kids and they're going to school and this content gets out and it's like, you know.
I guess it hasn't been around long enough yet for us to see the repercussions. Hopefully they're not bad. Because I'm all like for if that's what you want to do, that's what you do. But it's like, I don't know. I just really hope it doesn't have an effect on people just not trying anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that OnlyFans creators don't try, because I'm sure a lot of them do try. But it's like there's lots of, as you said, easy ways to get instant gratification, instant money.
Yeah.
But is it worth it?
Yeah. I think
I
you
don't
lose part of your soul. But that's my opinion. I don't want to come across like I'm telling people how to live their life.
That's what you want to do.
Yeah, if that's what you want to do, fair enough, do it. But don't lie about the reasons you're doing it, you know, because most of them do. Most of it say it, you know, oh, it's for, you know, empowering. No, it's because you wanted to make money. Like, just be honest, you know. But anyway, that's enough OnlyFans hating for a fucking podcast.
Maybe you should bring one out. OnlyFans, MattyG OnlyFans.
Yeah, maybe I should. I'll just sell feet pics or some shit.
I'm sure there's a market for it, bro.
Yeah. Fucking no one wants that. I want to talk to you about obviously we got a bit sidetracked there with sort of sacrifice and also pressure that you put. Do you put a lot of pressure on yourself?
Massive.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying my best to start taking breaks. I've got 2 phones now. I'm trying not to work Sundays anymore. I've never been a gamer, but I've been trying to play like video games now, only because like I literally don't know what to do when I get home. My missus is a flight attendant, so a lot of the time she's away, so it's not like we can just kick back. So I get home, I kind of, you know, might play with the dogs for a little bit, kind of zone out a bit, and then I'm like, if there's not a series or whatever I'm watching, I'm like, what do I do? Like, I've even been leaving my laptop here because if I don't, I'll work when I get home. I got a constant pressure on myself. I think, I can't remember if we spoke about this on the last pod, but I definitely have dealt with a lot of imposter syndrome in the past. Going back to before when you said, do I ever like think, how the heck did I get here? All the time. Like there's been one scenario I can talk about. Don't think I'd done this yet when we last did the pod, but one of my first clients when I was out on my own was Apple, which I thought was crazy. Like if you could tell me, you know, the two biggest clients I'd like to work for to be Apple and Nike, just because like why not? Like they're the, you know, the goats.
2 goats, yeah.
2 goats. So for one of my first clients to be Nickeh, and shout out to my brother Jakil for making that happen. It was weird, bro. I'm sitting in a boardroom at Apple headquarters in Sydney, and you will understand why this is so weird. And I'm sure some people watching will understand why this is so weird. But they're at the table, there's marketing execs, they're showing us the latest phones and the latest technology that Apple have developed. And they're going, we love what you're doing in Western Sydney. We want to be a part of it. And I'm just there like, what, cunt? I'm grateful, but I'm just thinking like, in the back of my head, I'm thinking, why is this a thing? Like, because you know what it was like growing up in the West. If you had friends in the city, oh, where are you from? Oh, near the Blue Mountains. Like,
yeah.
You know, like you never, I don't know, it was kind of like we had this pressure and there was all these kind of narratives on the West. You're kind of embarrassed to be from here, right?
Yeah. I never was, only because of I think I've always had a really proud sense of self.
Yeah.
Whereas I actually probably turned it up a notch when I would go into the city or something. I was quite happy with that. I like being the underdog. I like being the outcast. You know, I love going to Coogee Pav and people stare at me because they, oh, look at this fucking Westie with a mullet, you know?
I do too, but I think what frustrates me was like I remember growing up Air Maxes, all this kind of stuff, and now it's like people would be like, ugh, and now it's like a trend.
Yeah.
So it's like, but going back to Apple, obviously really cool that they're recognizing that, but it was a big wig out moment. It was like the first time a company of that level has said something like that to us. And shout out to M that was like doing the project because she was like so passionate about what we're doing in the West. And I had my brother's Planet Vegeta that I was doing this little project with, but it was just like, I don't know, man, like so much pressure on myself to be working for a company of that stature with my friends. Like I just really want to do a good job. Everything I'd post is there forever. Yeah. So I've constantly got pressure on myself, but over the last year, having this space and learning these lessons and stuff, I've really started to like not have so much pressure. I still have a lot of pressure, but it's like I'm big on things already written. Like whatever's going to happen is going to happen.
Yeah.
And I can't change that as long as I'm the best version of myself that I think I can be. And I'm trying my best with everything that I do.
Yeah.
But then I get like these, I don't know if you deal with this with your creative stuff at all, but let's say I do 50 projects, right? 48 of them, amazing. I will get it delivered on time. Then there'll be like 2 that are, I call them, what were we calling them the other day? Like just cursed projects, right? So there'll be like this, and I've just delivered 2 of them. And it sucks because they were for 2 of my friends, but they just sat there. And there was just this block in my brain that was like, don't touch that project. Do all these other ones that you've shot later first.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, I just have like this weird negative energy that just gets attached to some projects. And then I get a lot of pressure on myself to work on those. And then you'll find me drop off the face of the earth for a little bit and make excuses and whatnot. But that's something that I've decided in recent times that's not going to be a thing anymore. And I've always been good with that. Like I'll shoot something and deliver it as quick as I can. But then, I don't know, man, there's just always these little, devils on my shoulder that fuck me on some projects.
Yeah.
So it's like dealing with, I read this book, which you should read, called The War on Art. And he talks about resistance in your brain as a creative and distractions and procrastination. And it all kind of stems from having that pressure on yourself.
I definitely, I've felt that with many things that I've done. And, some podcast episodes as well. I'm like, sometimes I get home and I get it all up, put it through Premiere Pro. I'm starting the editing process straight away. Sometimes I wait to 2 days before it comes out.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to touch it. I don't want to deal with it. Not really 2 days before it comes out because I got to put out fucking cuts and promos and shit. But yeah, some things I do leave to the last minute, some things I don't. And it's like this weird, I don't know, sometimes it's just hard to have that high energy for everything, when you've got so much going on.
Yeah.
It's the same with photography gigs, Sometimes I'll come home and I'll just think, oh, fuck, I'll touch it tomorrow. And then it'll get to 9 o'clock at night or something. I'll be, fuck, I haven't done anything. It's like a Sunday, I start editing some photos. I'm like, fuck, I won't get them done till Monday now, then put it out. Sometimes I photograph a party. I come home, I put them all on there, ready, hard drive up. They've been loaded into Lightroom, ready to go the next day.
I think it's tough to, like, talking about working for myself as well. Like, I'll have this plan when I wake up. So every morning now, the last few weeks, it's been wake up at 5:55, in the shower by 6, at the gym by 6:30. One when I train till like 8, coffee, studio. I'm at my desk by 8:30, ready to go, right? Some days I'll get to my desk and then I'm able to just like, I don't know if it's like, I honestly believe I'm on some form of spectrum. I'm not sure which one, but I'm definitely on one of them, right? Where I can I'll sit at my desk and I'll zone in and then I'll be like, pew, 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 like in the bomber closet, I'm in the Matrix because I just do not like, there could be an explosion next to me. I just don't even notice. I'm bang, bang, bang. He comes over, looks at me and I got all these data and charts up everywhere and I'm like coding things and blah, 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 blah. And then I'll look up and it's 2 p.m. and I'm like, fuck, but I've delivered 6 things.
Yeah.
Other days I'll get to work 8:30. I'm like, all right, ready to go in. Then someone will walk in the front door and be like, "Oi, did you watch the Panthers game on the weekend?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah." And then the coffee cart turns up. God bless John and Jenny. They come through every morning, and they've just got this new horn system on the van where every day it's a different song.
Oh, really?
So now I'm like in the back of my head, oh, what song's going to be today? And then I'm having a coffee, and then someone else will come in the studio. Then we'll have a book in here, and I'm very like, I want to be a great host when people come in here. So I'm like, if you have any questions about lighting or anything, and then this person might, and please don't stop doing this, but this person might be like, oh, how do you use this flash? So I'll give them a 15-minute run through on the flash, set it up for them. And then I look at my thing, it's 4 p.m. and I haven't done shit all.
Yeah.
So it's like, I never know which day I'm going to get. But it's like, yeah, if I could somehow train myself, but it's impossible. If I could somehow train myself to at least get in that zone every day, bro, I'd be punching out 50 projects a week.
Yeah.
But it's just, yeah.
Do you struggle to sleep at night? Does your mind race?
You know what? Up until the tour with Russell, I did. I don't know if that tour just exhausted the fuck out of me or whatever, but I haven't been staying up past 10 p.m. since.
Really?
The first month, bro, I was asleep at 8 p.m. every night. But I was living, to be honest, I wasn't living an unhealthy lifestyle in terms of drinking or anything like that. But I would eat a lot of shit food. I'd eat at all different times of the day. I wasn't training. It's only been like the last 2 weeks I've been training again and eating well for a week now. I already feel so much clearer.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know, man. You kind of, the big thing for me, the biggest problem with food in me is that's my escape. If my missus is on a job, like she'll go away for 4 days at a time, and I've had a shit day and people are like getting on my nerves or stepping over boundaries or whatever, I'll get home and I'll just be like, fuck it, I'm having pizza tonight or whatever. And that's like my little relaxing moment. So it's like, I don't drink. I very rarely drink. I don't smoke. I don't do anything. So it's like, I don't have a
vice.
A vice. I don't have a vice. So I'm trying to figure out what my vice is.
Yeah.
Bomber's great. His vice is golf. He goes and plays golf. And I was doing that a little bit for a while, but it's just, I don't know. I need to figure out it's not me entirely. Yeah. I do enjoy it and I'll go and play with the boys every now and then. But it's like, I need a vice. That's why I'm playing video games right now. I'm trying to figure out what my vice is.
Hey, video games are fun, you know?
It used to be skateboarding, like as a kid, you know that, like going to school with me and stuff. But I don't know. The fucked up thing is my vice is working. Like I'll get home and I kind of like prioritize things in my brain, like different tiers. Like I got work, which is like things here, and then I'll have fun work, which might be like doing something for a friend or something like that. And then I'll have, obviously helping my cousin with his YouTube channel or helping Ashley's dad build a website at the moment. It's like another tier of work. So I'm like, I'll escape from work by doing this type of work. But I've realized lately that's not healthy.
Yeah.
Like I need to be able to switch off.
Yeah.
That's why I've got the 2 phones now and whatnot, because
it's a good idea.
I was not, as you said, I was not sleeping. Like I didn't know how to switch off at nighttime. And have you ever read Atomic Habits?
No, but I've heard it.
It's a great book to read. But I had made negative atomic habits. So like I'd associated bedtime and movies with snacking and this kind of stuff, where like I'd be like, all right, I'll switch off by going and watch a movie. And then you notice 2 minutes later, I've gone through an Uber Eats dessert or something like that. And I'm like, fuck, this is not healthy. So I've been really trying to figure out like a healthy vice and that kind of stuff now. But, oh man, it's crazy.
Yeah. Man, my mind races like a motherfucker at night. Hey, like I have to, my like routine now is like I have to be, if I want to fall asleep by 10, I've got to be in bed by 9 so I can go through in my head. It's like a fucking list, but I can see it. Like, cause I'm a real visual person. Like when I close my eyes, I can picture, it's a photographic memory, right? So like I'll read it on my notes on my phone and then like, I'll like put my phone away and then in my head I can see it like got to do this tomorrow. And I'll go through that. I'm not kidding you, like 100 times in my head, just saying it.
Yep.
Just so I don't, like even though it's written down, like I don't even need to remember it, but it's just like in my head until I feel calm. It's like, all right, now I can sleep. And man, if I start that process at 10, I'm not falling asleep till 11. Or like if I don't start it till 11, I'm not, it's fucked, man. I don't know. I'm just a chronic overthinker. I always have been.
But also like, when I was younger, obviously I tried smoking weed and this kind of stuff. And one thing I noticed when I smoked weed was that if I got too high, I'd start thinking like, oh, if I knock this Red Bull, what if it spills on the wires? And then from that, this all catches on fire and the studio burns down. Like my mind would race to the ultimate extreme like that. So it was like, I still deal with that without smoking weed. Like I'll be like, but in much smaller doses. So like I'll be in bed trying to relax. I'll open an Instagram reel. I'll be like, fuck, how did they do that camera effect? And then 2 hours later, it's 11:30 at night, and I've spent the last 2 hours trying to research how to do something and then figuring out how I can bring that into my projects. So it's just like, I don't know. For me, it was like no phone. That's one, because it could be simple. Like the Instagram reel would lead to me creating a Pinterest board, me messaging friends or clients, like doing it myself, messaging clients later night, being like, hey, let's try this.
Yeah.
We get into a deep discussion. I don't know. Just my mind just like will go bang, bang, bang. And if I don't, Bomber and I are big on, if we got an idea, we have to do it now. It has to happen right this second.
Yeah.
Because if I don't, it won't happen. Which is a gift and a curse. But at nighttime, it's a curse, massive curse.
Yeah. Yeah. When you're trying to rest and fucking just put everything, out of your mind. Man, I'm the same with like Instagram reels and shit. If I see something that, it could be even like a fucking listening to a new song and like a song lyric, I'll be like, what does that mean, cunt? And I'll research it and I'll try and find an interview, and then I'll try and I just get wrapped up in this shit that's not even fucking
What do they call it?
important.
Like a black hole?
Yeah, a rabbit hole.
Rabbit hole. Yep.
Yeah, fell down a few of them in my life. But yeah, even if I just get excited about something, I really struggle to sleep. Like I have to get all my excitement out by afternoon. Like the other night, like I found a original Trump Make America Great Again hat, 2016, the proper Cali fame fucking one. And the reason they're so hard to get in this country is because that's official campaign merch, right? So it counts as a donation, which they can't sell to foreign nationals. So you could never go online and just buy a real one unless you lived in the States. And like even the online sites, they only deliver to the States. And so I've been trying to find one for fucking ages. And I found one. It was a pretty good price. Got it for $115. People probably think I'm crazy for that, but man, it's iconic. And I've had a fake one for years. And then after I did that, this is at like 9 o'clock at night. And I'm so amped up. Like I started screenshotting like the photos of eBay and like sending it to my friends. And I'm like, God, look what I fucking got. And then I'm like Snapchatting people. And I'm like, fuck, man, now it's 10 o'clock. And I'm wired, because I'm excited.
It's weird how that works, huh?
Yeah, I hate it.
Have you ever seen this is a bit off topic, but have you ever seen Andrew Schultz bit on merch, Trump's merch?
No, but I do love him.
I'm going to see him in November. Actually.
Oh, he's coming out. Hey?
Yeah. It's so funny. He like opens up and he's like, Biden is going to be the most boring president we've ever had. And then everyone in the crowd's like, yeah. And he's like, he ain't got no merch. And he just starts going on like, dude, you have to watch it. Like, it's just such a funny bit about what do they call it? What is it? MAGA
hats. Yeah.
Hat? He does this full bit on it. It's like hilarious.
Oh man. Like, I must say Trump, like Make America Great Again, whether you hate or love Trump, I'm a Trump supporter, but what he did with that, what a movement. We have never seen that for
it was
a
exciting
presidency.
for us because it would have affected, like anything that happens in America affects everybody.
Yeah.
But I feel like I have a lot of friends in America. Half of them are like, yeah, Trump. The other half are like, we're fucked. But it was like I think it's the same Andrew Schultz bit. He talks on like, you turn on the TV every night and something fucking crazy's happened. He's tweeted something it was a very strange point in time.
Yeah, and it's not over yet either.
Yeah,
that's what excites me.
To be honest, I really do not follow along with it, but I see his like his mugshot being released is like that broke the internet that day. Like,
and look what I bought. I'll show you. I mean, they won't be able to see it, but he once he had his mugshot taken, he released these shirts. I bought one. Never surrender.
See, he would have, man.
He would have made a killing off that,
That's insane, dude.
So,
what a time to be alive.
I know. And all those charges are, they're bullshit charges anyway. Like, I believe
I
there
don't
is
follow enough to comment on it.
Yeah. I've had a big I'm very political minded. So US politics to me, I just love how it's set out. You know, it's such an exciting. If you're into politics, it's exciting an election cycle because it starts so early. Like over here, we have like a 6-week fucking campaign. These are like 2 years campaign, and then they have the midterms as well, like halfway through a presidency. So it's just like constant campaigning, and Trump, man, he's just like. He's a dream. Like, if you're a journalist or something, he's a fucking dream for you because there's just sound bites every day, you know?
It's just like, it's like a meme though, bro. Like,
yeah.
he pops up
it's
in
a circus.
Nelk videos and then,
yeah.
like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just,
well, that got taken down off YouTube.
But it's like a whole, I don't know. It's funny to watch, but at the same time, you're like, fuck, what is going on?
Yeah. And if you actually listen to what he says, you know, it's like he actually makes perfect sense. I remember Joe Rogan talked about it on his podcast, and Joe Rogan's by no means a Trump supporter. Like, I think he voted fucking Bernie Sanders. Like, and he was talking about like they were asking him, they were trying to like bait him into answering the question: who do you want to win do you want Ukraine or Russia to win the war? And he's like, I want people to stop dying. And it was like this huge fucking thing, like. How dare he not support Ukraine, you know? It's like, why would he support, like, what he said makes perfect sense. But because it's Trump saying it, it's like.
That's what the media does, though. They'll tell the narrative that is going to, you know, get the most engagement from the community.
Yeah.
It's like, I was thinking about it last night, like, just even, like, it could be something of that level, or it could be, like, I saw something about, like, they do it with NRL players all the time. So-and-so said this, and then you actually read the article, and it's like.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Like,
man, NRL players cop it worse than any other sport, I reckon, in Australia.
Oh, it's insane, by far.
Yeah. I would fucking hate it. I would hate it. And it's good seeing now NRL players sticking up for themselves via social media and calling journalists out and saying, you know.
The stuff happening with Latrell right now is insane, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Like he's, you know what? Like, I don't even know if I'm allowed to comment on this, but one time I was out with Ty, and it was like 3 a.m. and he called Latrell and woke him up, and I was just in the back of the car, but he was on speaker, and they were talking about his project with Mara, and he was just like saying, like the way he was talking about his project, bro, at 3 a.m. with Ty, like being Ty, like he's just such a nice dude. I'm like, even though I worked at the club, I didn't really have too much to do with him. But he's like such a genuine guy, I reckon, bro. Like, and it sucks that, you know, like just racism and that kind of stuff, like the things that he goes through, like, and I'm friends with some NRL players, and I hear things that goes on in their DMs that you never like kind of hear about, but people are fucked.
Yeah.
Like there is not, and like you see it with every, like my favorite is like when someone comments on Ty's thing, like you got dropped in your last fight, and then you click on their profile picture and it's like, shut up.
Yeah.
Like, some fat guy on his couch.
Yes, 100%.
It's like, I'm like, when in society did we decide it was fine to be like that?
Yeah. And this is touching on what I talked about before, right? With social media and how it's destroying the fabric of this society. Like, yeah, you would never, I live by, if you wouldn't say it to them, to their face in the street, don't fucking say it online. Who the fuck are you? You know, like, have your opinion, fair enough. Everyone's got a soapbox, right? Have your opinion. But to target someone, and you would never say it to their face, but because you're behind a screen, you think it's okay. I just think you're a cockhead.
Yeah, it's I don't know, man. It affects them. Like it fucks them up, bro. Like even like the
most strong-minded people, if you're copping messages every day of hate, it's going to affect you.
Yeah.
Like it just is. That's how we're wired.
And like the death threats, like Romy, for example, some of the things I've heard that people have said to him, bro. Like, and I think Nathan was in here the other day, doing a podcast with sporting news.
Saw that.
And he was saying like he's chosen to be that person, but I personally know Romy. He's a really nice dude. Like he plays the character, but as Nathan said on the pod, it makes it exciting for the viewer, you know? Like
100%.
The rivalry and the kind of villain, everyone needs that in anything.
And when did we become such soft cocks in this country anyway? It's fucking rugby league, for God's sake.
Yeah.
You know, think of the legends of the past. they've all been, these, look at Gordon Tallis back in Origin days.
Yeah,
he was a
bro.
fucking asshole,
Yeah.
and that's what made him good.
It made it like it makes it exciting.
Yeah.
If they're all goody two shoes kind of
Yeah,
like
it's not fucking
playing
tennis
by the rules. It's
Yeah,
it'd be boring.
and that's another thing in tennis. That's why I love Nick Kyrgios so much, because he's just a fucking mad cunt. Like,
bro, I met him, about this time last year, and he was a really nice dude. I know. To be honest, I don't follow tennis. I'd only ever heard bad things about the dude because that's what the media does.
Yeah,
But again, real nice dude, smart dude,
yeah,
but deals with a lot, bro. Like
Yeah.
you could tell that he deals with a lot. But I don't know. It's just it really baffles me that people can't just take a step back and go, oh, they're choosing to be this person. It's entertaining for me to watch. But nothing makes me laugh more than the comments on like rugby league Facebook posts and stuff like, oh, what were they thinking? They should have done this. And it's like, yeah, that's why they're playing NRL and you're at home watching.
Yeah. Although if the Tigers listen to me, we'd be in the fucking top
Maybe
8,
you
mate.
should.
Maybe I should coach.
I reckon.
Benji's assistant. Me and Benj.
Get it done.
Yeah, we met recently
Oh, did you?
at Leichhardt Oval.
What's he
Yeah.
like? I never met him.
Absolute legend.
Legend?
I had met him previously before, but not for a long time. And he came down, and I was actually heaps. It was one of my first times getting fucked up after like my sobriety.
Yeah, yeah.
And Tigers smashed Cowboys at Leichhardt Oval. So it was such a good night. And I was heaps fucked up. And we stayed there after, and we were just talking shit. And I think the game finished. It was a 5:30 game, so it finished at 7:30. We were still there at like 9:30. And so all the boys are coming out, and it was Brooksy's 200th. So I saw Brooks after, and we had a good chat. And then Benj comes down, and I'm like, "All hail the king!" And I start like bowing down to him, and I was like, "Can I please get a photo, Benj?" Because like he's pretty notorious for like not taking photos, really. Like especially after that late at night, he's like, "Fuck, I just need to get home." And he was like, "Only because you got the best haircut here, brother." And I was like, "Yeah." It was fucking it was a good moment.
One of my mates, Malachi Zalesniak.
Yeah,
He's obviously got his watch company.
yeah,
And I was talking to him about it, and he's like, he was the same when he had the opportunity to play with Benji. He was like, oh shit, that's Benji Marshall. But apparently he was just like such a dude, like just obviously a veteran and a goat, but it's like such a open, warming person.
yeah. And what Benji did for the game is, I honestly think he was probably I reckon in my like era growing up, he was the most influential player.
Well,
for
everyone
sure.
knows the Benji Marshall.
Yeah,
The sidestep.
yeah,
I
the
wasn't even a
sidestep and
rugby
the flick
player.
pass, and
All that stuff.
and yeah,
Very
everyone,
innovator of the game.
yeah, and every kid playing, park footy as a kid wanted to be Benji Marshall.
Yep.
Even if they weren't a Tigers fan.
Yeah.
And I just think, I think he's maybe when we look back on history, he might be, a bit underrated in the scheme of things of just how impactful he was.
Definitely.
But anyway, enough about footy. I do want to ask you just about some advice that you'd want to give someone out there that wants to do what you want to do. What would be your advice to them?
Like in filmmaking in general?
Filmmaking in general, yeah. Content creation.
Content creation.
Yeah.
So first of all, it's not going to be easy. Yeah, there might be that 1% or 1% that blows up on their first try and then it is easy, but I sacrificed a lot of time, which I was happy to do. So first of all, make sure it's actually what you want to do. If it's something that you truly do want to do, then the sacrifice is going to be easier. I remember just working. I worked for free for a long time. So if you have the opportunity to reach out to other creators and be like, "Hey, I'll give you some of my time for free to come and just assist you on a shoot," you're gonna learn 10 times quicker. And just don't. Bomber and I always talk about this. I'm not sure if he spoke about it with you, but we expect nothing and accept everything. So don't have these high expectations of yourself that you're going to be a crazy content creator off the bat. You got lessons to learn and hurdles to overcome and whatnot. And accept everything that comes your way. Opportunities, I accept every single one of them. Well, not so much now, but as a youngin' I did. whether it was filming a wedding or filming a car show or filming book launches. I've done all kinds of shit, but it's led me to we're sitting in my own studio now. So obviously it's done something right. But yeah, just try not to have too much pressure on yourself. I'm not the best person to promote that, but you know, it's already written. What's going to happen is going to happen. You just got to put in the time and effort to make it a reality.
And in terms of whoever's listening that wants to come in and film a podcast or do anything or shoot a photography shoot, what does 27 Project offer to?
Man, it's a never-ending gourmet menu of what we offer, but we do podcasts. If you've never done a podcast, you want to do a podcast, we'll help you. If you're already a seasoned podcast guy like yourself, MattyG, we'll still help you. We've got switching rooms. We've got all the gear you need to do a podcast, whether it's 2 people like we're doing right now or you need 6 people in here, we can make it happen. In terms of the content side of it, we've got a huge cyclorama. We've got a massive, clean, open space content area full of the best lighting that most studios would offer as extra packages. We do that for free. I really didn't want to cut any corners. I wanted it to be a spot, like you said before, you can walk in and just start straight away. But I think the unique thing we offer that maybe not every studio offers is our network and our expertise. We never just let you, if you've never done this before, if you've never done a shoot in the studio before, we're not going to throw you in the deep end and be like, here's this, see you in 2 hours. We're happy to answer any questions. We're happy to be there with you while you're shooting. We're happy to give our feedback on the day. It was really important for us to build an environment where everybody feels comfortable to come and shoot, and everybody feels comfortable to come and ask questions.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks for having me
and
again, Matty.
speaking free once again. And remember, guys, speak free with MattyG.